I've been married for 10 years now, and honestly, I've never been unfaithful to my wife. Sure, there were plenty of opportunities, but I never felt the urge. Why? Because I'd already lived that kind of life before we met. I had my fair share of wild experiences. 2 women at once, encounters with prostitutes, and situations that pushed the limits of both my imagination and my disgust. By the time I turned 35, the thrill of experimenting had completely worn off. I met my wife when I started a new job. She was in charge of the department next to mine, divorced, raising a child, and absolutely stunning. She was sharp, confident, and we just clicked. A whirlwind romance led to marriage, and for years, life was bliss. We were inseparable, built a home together, and even had another child. Other women never even crossed my mind. Then things started to change. People say women have a sixth sense when it comes to their men keeping secrets. But one day out of nowhere, I woke up with that same gut feeling. No reason, no evidence, just a deep certainty that something was off. My wife was cheating. At first, there were no clear signs, just subtle shifts in her behavior. The way she smiled, how she looked at me. It was like something invisible had come between us. I even questioned my own sanity, wondering if I was overthinking. But as time passed, the signs became harder to ignore. She wasn't glued to her phone or dodging my calls, but she suddenly became obsessed with her appearance. She started dieting, joined a gym, lost weight, and filled her closet with new dresses. Strangely, I also found several sets of fishnet lingerie, something she had never worn for me. Her schedule changed to late nights at work, corporate events, a new group of friends. She was always out, coming home in an amazing mood, only for that happiness to vanish the moment she stepped inside. She started comparing me to other men, something she had never done before, making it clear that nothing about me seemed good enough anymore. Our warm family evenings turned into distant, awkward interactions. When I tried to bring back the spark, she only seemed annoyed. Every attempt at an honest conversation was met with silence or deflection. I needed to know the truth. I wasn't going to accuse her blindly, but I also couldn't live with the uncertainty. I installed a spy app on her phone, combed through texts and calls, nothing, just work messages and chats with friends. Then I hid a voice recorder in her car. For 2 weeks, I listened to hours of recordings, learning that my wife had a surprisingly good singing voice, knew German, and swore like a sailor while driving, but still nothing incriminating. Just when I started to believe I was being paranoid, fate intervened. At a barbecue with friends, I went to grab some charcoal from the car and noticed my wife's car had a flat tire. I popped the trunk to get a wrench, and that's when I found it. A second phone. My hands trembled as I scrolled through it, and within seconds, my worst fears were confirmed. Months of messages with another man, flirty, intimate, undeniable. A wave of rage crashed over me, but I kept my cool. I wasn't going to explode in front of everyone. Instead, I sat there, silent, trying to process everything. Why? What did I do wrong? Some might say I should have ignored it, let her have her fun and carried on. But that's not who I am. I couldn't live a lie, pretending everything was fine while knowing the truth. The betrayal cut deep, and I knew one thing for sure. I would divorce her. But first, I wanted revenge. It wasn't hard to find out where her lover lived. One evening, when she went to his place, I followed. I parked right next to his car, blocking the driver's side. The shock on their faces when they saw me was priceless. My wife tried to get out, but I slammed the door shut before she could. She rolled down the window and started yelling. That was my moment. I pulled out a can of pepper spray and unleashed it right through the window. Chaos erupted inside the car. They choked, coughed, and panicked, while I calmly walked back to my car and drove away. When I got home, I didn't waste a second. I tore through our bedroom, grabbed all of her clothes, stuffed them into garbage bags, and threw them outside. I made as much noise as possible, not caring if the neighbors heard. The kids were with their grandmother, thankfully spared from witnessing their father's fury. We divorced soon after, splitting everything down the middle. I signed over my share of the apartment for the kids, who stayed with her. A year has passed since then. Now we communicate civilly and even celebrate birthdays together. I've moved on, found a new wife, and focus on the present. I refuse to let the past define me.